How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to another warm-up. It's been the international break, so it's been a couple of weeks since we've done one of these. I'm back with James and Cecil.
And we're back at the Emirates.
And a legend returns. A legend is back at the Emirates this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I say this weekend, it's a Monday night kickoff, but yeah, that's a big thing for me, you know, because I want to go primarily for that reason, to see Patrick Vieira. Obviously, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to be there or if I'm going to run the watch along, but we'll see how that goes. Tune in on Monday to see what happens there. But how are you guys feeling about it? Did you guys ever get to see Vieira live?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Did I?
No.
God, did I? I know I saw Thierry Henry, but I think Vieira might have been just before me.
Yeah, he didn't.
Do you know what? I'm starting to think I didn't. Oh, that's depressing, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, not the stadium. Definitely not. But yeah, obviously watching.
But you know what he's about.
TV,
You're not moving like Ben White, who doesn't really know what
God,
Vieira's done at the club.
Sure, we talk about that. Do you know what? It's a shame because for me, I became an Arsenal fan. Like, I think I was around 9-10 years old, and they were at the peak of their powers, and it's just been a steady decline since then. So yeah, I saw Thierry here at the Emirates. But yeah, no, that I kind of just missed
that. Yeah.
the good old days. Saw a bit of Gilberto, and then obviously a few comebacks as well. Do you remember when Lehman came back? But yeah, I remember Patrick Vieira coming back to play for Man City.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And then went on to be, what was it, assistant manager, coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to do some stuff in New York as well.
He went to the academy as well first before he went into.
Yeah, he's done a few things, and that's kind of why the pressure's on him, because a lot of people saying, why did Arteta get a job he had no experience in? And listen, I don't think Patrick Vieira's like pulling up trees in management, but at the same time, at least he's got experience, and at least he's a real Arsenal legend. Yeah. So I think there was a little bit of kind of friction on that, and I think that's where the pressure comes in this game.
Yeah, real Arsenal legend indeed. What do you make of his first, 6-7 games in charge?
6-7. I think, do you know what? This is where I was going to touch on this later on in the show, but I think if I was a Palace fan, I'm sure many will watch this, I think they'll be quite happy with their start to the season. All the results that they've got are, they've won the games you'd expect them to win, or you'd say they should win.
Spurs.
Yeah. That's in there. That's in there. And they've drawn the games that you'd say fair enough. Likes of Brentford, I think it was a 0-0. Brentford started the season really well as well. I think that's a good result. I've got some down here as well. Brighton was 1-1, and if I'm honest, I think Palace should have won that game. Obviously, Mopé scoring in the last minute.
It was unlucky in that one.
It was very unlucky.
Stupid goal to concede at the end.
Yeah, last couple of seconds. Then Leicester, I think, are a great side. They drew 2-2 to them as well. So,
coming back from 2-0 down.
Right. So Palace, I think if you're a Palace fan, I think you'd be happy with those results so far. And I think Patrick Vieira, I think he's doing well. He started well. Yeah. I think they're doing what they should be doing.
It's patchy, but it's expected to be patchy when you have so many changes in the summer from manager to players.
You could take a lot of positives from it, because in 7 games they've picked up points in 5 of them.
Yeah.
4 draws and a win. And you're looking at a team that, I mentioned this on Forever Arsenal, I think. Frank de Boer came in and it was a complete car crash. So the transition from 4-4-2 rigid, let's stay in the league. I know Hodgson was a bit better than that, but he was a good manager. But you're trying to do something different now with the club, with the players you've got. A lot of players left. They've signed quite smartly, but a lot of money was still spent on players like Gay, I think, who came from Chelsea. Yeah. Edouard came in. Trying to transition to a 4-3-3, be a bit more expansive, and they clearly got goals in them, because you don't come back from 2-0 down against Leicester, twice behind at West Ham to pick up a point, and we know West Ham are looking a good side. If you've not got a little bit of character about you, playing out the back a bit more. Henry spoke about that on Monday Night Football. So I think this is I'd say a team that kind of suits us to play with our style, but also a team that are going to be gritty, but also determined. They're going to cause us problems.
What's his goal, you two, Patrick Vieira? What's his target? What does he have to do to have a good season? Because some people just say just stay in the Premier League, but
I think the target for them should be not necessarily a position in the table, but more so an imprint of his philosophy.
Right.
Maybe something to believe in, something to trust.
Yeah.
That's what I think he needs to bring this season, whilst obviously staying up. That goes without saying. And I think the bare minimum to avoid being in a relegation battle come December, January, where it's common that Premier League managers tend to lose their jobs if they're in that position come that time, because clubs tend to make decisions to save their place in the Premier League. So, I'm hoping, as a massive fan of Vieira, that he does well.
Yeah.
But I'm also hoping that this weekend he doesn't do too well.
Yeah, no, it's true. And that's kind of a lot of Arsenal fans felt when he took the job. Well, that's my second team.
Yeah.
Not one that I'd be happy to drop points in, though.
Never, no.
Never.
But I do really wish him all the best at Palace, and I think it's early signs, but I think he's showing signs of like a coming in. I don't use the word process; people hate it, but it seems like he's come in and he's very quickly saying we're going to do it this way. The players are taking to it, and I think there's 7 results. I know there's only 1 win, but I think there's some really kind of exciting signs there for Palace.
And it's a legend that we keep on saying, and who wouldn't want to, play under a legend? I know some legends don't make it in management, but some do. But I think what legends bring is a certain level of respect, a certain level of authority.
Absolutely.
And I think Vieira brings that, An
understanding. There'll be a certain, and actually, I'll give Arteta this. I don't think Arteta lacks ambition. I don't think he lacks kind of the demand to be at the top. I actually think he's got all that. But at least with Vieira, he's been and done it at this club. So it's slightly different. But I think Arteta will want to flex his muscles a little bit and just say he's got the better players on paper. And you know what? He'll want to go out there, get a 2-3-0 and just remind the fans we're doing something here. Because we've seen signs of it since the last international break that things are travelling in the right direction. I know Henri disagrees, but
no, they're moving in the right direction. I think the difference between Arteta and Patrick Vieira as well is the fact that I believe Vieira would, if I was a player under him, he would get me up for a game, every game. I think that's what he did when he was at Arsenal as well. When he obviously back in the day, he very much riles the team up and gets them ready to go out there and fight. And Mikel Arteta, that's one thing. I think tactically you're right, and the ambition that he has, I think he definitely has that, and tactically he has things in mind. But I think getting the players up for a game is where Mikel Arteta might be a bit faulty in, and I think Vieira's going to.
So how are we feeling about the game this weekend? Then start with you.
I don't know yet.
Imagine got the international break and then the 0-0 just before it. It kind of left us in a position where the 0-0 wasn't the worst result, but it wasn't the best result either. And it kind of left us in a bit of a what's next?
Right.
Because if we couple up 3 wins and a draw with a win against Palace and a win against Villa, that draw is a very good point. But then if we come to Palace, we don't perform and we fail to take 3 points away, that Brighton result, then we look back at it and it's not so much a great point.
I agree with you there, Turkish. I think if we went to Brighton and we won, I'd be a lot more confident for this game. 100%. We'll be still on the ride, but on the wave of the victory. But we drew. It was actually a poor performance. It's not that we just drew. We actually didn't cause Brighton any problems. So that's where I have worries. Yes, there was torrential rain. I know it's not. You can decide if it's an excuse or not, but it was terrible weather, and I think that has kind of stumped my confidence about going into this game against Palace. However, the benefit we do have is it being at home. The last game we had at home was obviously the North London derby. There was a whole different vibe, whole different spirit there. It was a great performance, and I think being at home against Palace may play to our advantage. I'm gonna say I expect us to. I do expect us to win.
I don't think people want to acknowledge it too much, but we've actually had a tricky start to the season. We talk about having Brentford away, Friday night, all that. They're proving a good side. Like teams aren't. Well, they win at West Ham. They drew with Liverpool. Like they're a good side, Brentford. City away, Chelsea at home. You've got the European champions, the English champions there, and then Burnley and Brighton away amongst the North London derby. Like, I'm not saying that Arsenal. I'm not saying we shouldn't have done better. Like I expect this is Arsenal Football Club, but at the same time they're tricky. Points are going to be dropped along the way when you've got those kind of games. What Arteta's got now is a really favourable run. It starts with Palace, and I use the word favourable. I never use the word easy. I say favourable because they're games that with a home crowd. Building on the form that we've started to show, we should be winning. I'm not expecting us to go out there and score 5 and look superb. I'm expecting us to win and find a way and make it not look comfortable, but look like a team that's somewhat in control, travelling in the right direction. Now the thing about Palace, and we kind of touched on it, is that under Vieira they are a little bit more expansive. They are a little bit more. They want to play out the back. They want to cause you a few more problems. They want to play. We've seen that they've gone behind against Leicester. We've seen that they've gone behind a few times against West Ham. And even when they were playing well against Spurs, it took them a while to finally get the goal. I think there's an opportunity for Arsenal, if they just find a nice balance in the game, to kind of stamp their authority and actually start to pick them off a little bit. Again, I'm not expecting it to be easy, but this isn't Palace under Hodgson where you knew this is going to be a real slog. And actually, we've never really enjoyed it against Palace. Even when we beat them end of last season, the 3-1, it wasn't until the 89th that we went ahead again. So expecting a tough game, but it should suit what Arteta wants to do, really.
What about a key battle then?
Key battle. Ooh.
Games are often decided in those key battles. I'm going to start with one. Zaha, Tomiyasu. It has to be Zaha, Tomiyasu.
Has to.
Tomiyasu had a great start. And then the Brighton game was a bit of a reality check, maybe not only for us but for him too, in terms of what the league can present.
Yeah.
Because we were shocked that was the game that he was caught out a couple of times, even though he kept the clean sheet and he was part of that. Zaha's a massive test. We know what Zaha's about, especially against us. You know, obviously he supports Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken. He wanted to move to us. And you know, when you support a club and you're going to go play against that club, you want to do something against that club.
Yeah, you want to show them what they're missing.
Of course, he was supposed to be coming here, and he was obviously. I think he also thought he was coming here, and then obviously Arsenal surprise signing. They brought in Pepe, so I think there's also that as well in the balance as well. He's going to want to prove that, you know, that was the wrong decision. Yeah, I'm the guy. So I think Wilfried Zaha is a great key battle with Tomiyasu as well. I think Tomiyasu is still new. He's been incredible. Let's not get that twisted. He's been incredible so far. So it'd be good to see a challenge like Zaha as a key battle. Let me ask you about the spotlight for Arsenal. Who are you going to be looking at in this game, Turkish? Obviously, me and James will do it on the build-up. Make sure you guys check that out before the game. But who are you going to be focusing on from the Arsenal squad?
I guess it's Ober again.
Again, yeah.
Wow.
He's still got the pressure. Still putting.
It's not putting, but it's like
you expected more.
I could say Ben White, but in reality, you know, we've had a good few games defensively, and I don't think the defence needs to be in the spotlight right now. I think the spotlight needs to be on the attack, where we've had problems.
That's a good point.
And the biggest problem is goals, and our goals used to come from a certain individual, although it's not coming at the moment as frequently as it used to, so the spotlight's on him. It's a home game, it's against Palace. They play expansive, like you said, so we have the opportunity to press high, you know, nick the ball, create chances. There will be space. So I want to see Oba do something. So the spotlight for me is on Oba.
Yeah, that's a fair one. That's a fair one.
Yeah.
We're going to do ours in the build-up.
So mine's different to that.
Into the build-up. I've got some alternative thoughts.
Okay,
but
let us know yours in the comments.
I don't know who
I've got a thing to say on Aubameyang, but we'll do it when we do the 11s actually at the end.
Okay.
I've got some thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
What are we on to next?
Press conferences,
press conference team news.
Straight Out Colney is out. Go check it out if you want a sort of, it's only a 15-minute breakdown of some of the main points, but obviously a lot of questions about Vieira, a lot of questions about the Invincibles, of that film that's coming out with Wenger. I think the main take was obviously, you know, a lot of the questions that were coming about Vieira, he's obviously, I think he knows that there's a kind of outside pressure. It's not just playing Palace, that there's kind of a wider narrative here. But the interesting thing was team news. Obviously, Martinelli was talked about. He talked about Guendouzi, which is interesting, so you go check out my thoughts on that. But Martinelli picked up a minor injury, so we don't know if he's available for Monday. But interestingly, you know, he was asked about whether Martinelli might get a loan because of the lack of game time, but said he's in the plans and they're not thinking about that. And I really don't think that would be the right move for him personally. No. I want him to be playing regularly, but I think that's on Arteta to find ways to get him half an hour here, cup game time there.
So he said he's in the plans. Is that what Arteta said?
Said yes.
Listen, Arteta said William Saliba's in the plans, and then 2 months later he was in Marseille.
The one thing I would say where I defend Arteta a bit on this one is, it's very easy to forget his age. It's very easy to forget that he was out for 5 months because of the knee injury. We all want to see more Martinelli, but when we do our 11s, do any of us have him in our 11?
Not so much this season.
Not to start though. I would argue not to start.
Sure, but so what are we saying then? Like so our complaint is
involvement.
Our complaint is you're not giving us enough of him off the bench.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty watered down complaint. Like I agree with it. Like he should have come on against Brighton instead of Maitland-Niles. So don't get me wrong, but I'm not. It's not like he should be starting. So I'm up in arms that we're not seeing our best left winger getting game time.
But then I put that down to Mikel Arteta for not giving him minutes on the pitch, off the bench, to then say, okay, he's proved that he can start. So
started against Brentford, didn't do that well. Started against Chelsea, didn't do that well. Played in the Wimbledon game. My point is, I think people get caught up on Martinelli thing. I understand why, and I'm starting to think that for whatever reason Arteta maybe doesn't fancy him as much as I hoped. But at the same time, I don't think there's like an overwhelming evidence that he doesn't rate him necessarily.
I don't think he trusts him.
So we'll see. I think this one's going to play out a little bit more. But I think if he's fit for Palace, or at least in these upcoming home games, he'll get minutes, I think.
I kind of agree with you. It's hard when you've got good young talent in attack and there's only 3 positions to pick from. But I do also say if Martinelli maybe got the opportunities that maybe an Emile Smith-Rowe's got on the left-hand side, I expect him to be able to do better. But yeah, we haven't seen it yet to say we demand him to start.
That's it. That's a very good weapon.
Let's get into the lineups.
Yeah,
what we want to see this Monday night.
All right, well, I'll kick things off. Ramsdale keeps his place.
Yep.
Same back four that we used to seeing.
Yep.
Passing Lokonga.
Yep.
A lot of people felt Lokonga didn't do well against Brighton. I thought he did, actually. I thought he was the better of him and Partey. Maybe took some time to get into it, but I thought he did well. I think we've got real talent there. Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, the usual three behind Aubameyang. Now, what I was going to say about Aubameyang. With him and Lacazette, neither of them are for me the long-term solution. With the length on Aubameyang's contract, what he's done since he's been here, the fact I love the guy, I am more hoping and rooting for him to make it happen and make that position his own again.
Yeah.
But we need to see what he did against Spurs, or at least somewhere near that, on a much more regular basis. I gave him so much praise for the performance, the all-round performance, the goal, everything he did, and I thought we were starting to see him look a bit sharper against Burnley and Norwich too. But we need to see consistency, because Lacazette came on against Brighton, the hold-up, suddenly we were in behind within a minute of him being on the pitch. For me, they offer different skill sets, and there's nothing really to differentiate. There's nothing between them. It's not like Aubameyang's goal rate of the last year is something to put him above Lacazette, who we know is a more complete player anyway. He needs to start delivering, because for me it's a case of, if you ain't doing it against Palace, we come out with a 0-0 or a 1-1 and you've not scored. You play Lacazette against Aston Villa. I'm not in this kind of keep persisting. We need to go with who's on fire and getting them in, because we don't have time to be wasting chances. We need to be climbing that table. And I think there's a lot of pressure on both of them for that. But I understand Lacazette could be off in January and all these things. But I'm looking at Aubameyang a lot in this game.
Saying his credit's running out, basically.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. And I feel bad because I love the guy.
Yeah.
I really think he bleeds Arsenal, and I think he loves the club, and I love his persona and everything, the way he embraces the fans. But I've got to look at it from a cold-hearted footballing perspective. What he did against Brighton was not good enough. Now, the team were poor, but he didn't do his bit either. So, you see Lacazette, the impact he had, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I think lineup-wise, I'm not too. I think it kind of picks itself apart from one or two positions.
Okay.
And that's the.
Lokonga, Partey.
Yeah, so I'm going Ramsdale, same back four.
Yeah.
And I'm going Partey, Odegaard. Nothing against Lokonga. I just think we're at home. Take the game to Palace, and because of Odegaard coming in there instead of.
Forgot that was a thing.
Lokonga, put Smith Rowe ahead of them, and then Pepe on the left, and that would be my only change really. Pepe comes in for Lokonga in your team, and
that's good.
Essentially,
that's got me thinking. All right, go on, Seth. What you got?
No, I've gone, obviously, it's Ramsdale and goal, same back line. Same two as James, Lokonga and Partey. And do you know what? Lokonga against Brighton, I think it was the position that he was playing. I don't think he didn't understand the role, I think that's where he got confused. I think he was told to maybe play the Xhaka role, which I don't think is Lokonga's game. I hope this week Arteta spoke with Partey and Lokonga if they're starting in the training ground and said, listen, I want you to do this role instead, or let Partey sit and you have a more of a freer role. I think he was just confused when I saw him at Brighton. He didn't. His position was just all over the place. He just seemed like he was in a whirlwind. So if once that gets nailed down, I think you will see a better performance from Lokonga. And that's not to take credit away from him, because he's been great since he's come in, but I think it's more the tactics were wrong for him personally. He didn't understand what was going on. So I'll put them both back in. I think they will work. I really do. I really believe that. I put Odegaard in the 10. I'm trying to remember who, I've got it on my phone here actually, let me think. I put Pepe in on the right and Emil Smith Rowe on the left. I've dropped Saka.
Oh wow.
I know, first time ever.
You do some mad things, you know.
I do some mad things.
Guy scored on international break.
I know, bro. I know.
Lovely
but
goal as well.
Do you know what it is? It was a good goal. But
One day Cecil comes in and says, I'm not having it with Tavares.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Next time he comes in, Saka's not starting.
I know. Do you know what it is, right? I don't want to burn him out. I don't want to burn him out. And I know that it's kind of a weak excuse, but I don't actually want to. I think he's had a lot of game time. He's played international duty. He's played a lot of minutes as well. Didn't want to burn him out. I think I want to see more from Pepe. I'm going to be honest. I'm putting him in there because you don't know my thoughts on Pepe. I'm not sold by him at all, and I feel like this is the game where I want him to step up. I think he'll do more. And the reason why I've also dropped Saka as well, which a lot of people are going to disagree with and not like to hear, but against Brighton defensively, he was abysmal. he was abysmal. He wasn't tracking back. He wasn't helping out Tomiyasu, and that's the truth. I love Saka, but he wasn't. He wasn't tracking. He wasn't doing his defensive duties well. And against Zaha on Monday, someone's going to have to track back and help Tomiyasu. So that's why I put Pepe in there. Controversial, I know, but it's the truth. That's what I saw. And then Aubameyang up top again. I echo everything James says. He's got a lot to prove at the moment. His credit is running low. Laka does offer something more for the team. But if Aubameyang starts scoring again, and we see what we saw against the North London rivals, then we'll be all happy and smiling.
So what do you think scoreline if that's the lineup we see?
What, my lineup or if?
Well, just in general, what do you think?
Go on, what are you expecting, Seth?
I think it's going to be a tight game. Not a very interesting game, if I'm pretty honest. I think it'll be a cagey.
We've just been saying it's going to be open.
Yeah,
you guys, that's what you guys think. Yeah, no, fair. I just think it's going to be a bit. I think it'll be tighter. I think it'll be a 1-0 Arsenal.
1-0? I've heard a few people say 1-0.
I said 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Oh, yeah, was you? Yeah.
I think it will. Yeah, I just think it will be one of those. Neither team is quite firing in front of goal.
Yeah.
Palace more so than Arsenal, but yeah, 1-0. I hope.
I'm going to go. I went with 2-0 on Forever Arsenal. I'm going to go 2-0. But I can see a 2-1. I can see a 3-1. I think Arsenal will win. I hope Arsenal win because
I'd love it. I'd love it if after the weekend.
Starting off the next phase between international breaks with a loss at home against Palace doesn't bode well for the next few fixtures, especially when you've got Leicester away coming up as well.
I know people say that fixture lists don't matter, but there's a nice little opportunity. I mean, maybe I'm just kind of making this off my head, but there's a nice opportunity for the weekend's action to kind of occur. We get those extra few days. Play on the Monday night. We know the Emirates will be rocking because it has been all season. On the Monday night, you can have the fans there. Vieira's back, nice energy. And then if you win, you're then looking at Friday night and you're thinking, great, Friday night back at the Emirates. We could be collecting 6 points before everyone else has played again. So there could be a nice little opportunity for Arsenal to just pick up your points, shoot up the table, and then say, right, guys, we've done our business in the week. Enjoy the week. And I don't know what just something about. It's just, if we win our games, it's just set itself up really nicely.
Yeah, and I think, sorry, just on that fixture list as well, just making Emirates more of a fortress as well. It's starting to annoy me that people come here and obviously we did against North London rivals, but apart from that, it hasn't been a fortress of recent.
It's never been a fortress.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
No, but the fans have done their job this season.
I'm not saying the fans. I'm saying the performances at home from the players. They need to make it a difficult place to come. It's never been that.
We're not making this a fortress for another couple of years minimum. How are you going to make it a fortress without scary players? A fortress holds scary players. We ain't got enough scary players to call this a fortress. The fans do their job more often than not, especially this season.
There's nothing against the fans. It's more it's the players on the pitch at home.
But the fans in general across the 15 years at the Emirates have been culpable to a poor atmosphere. Arsenal have played their part in that. But this season in particular, following 18 months of COVID and whatnot, the place has been booming, regardless of if it's Tottenham or was it Norwich at home or Norwich?
Yeah.
So for me, this place only becomes a fortress when this club want to build something that can fight. You can't build a fortress
I just want to
that.
pick up some wins at home so we can make it more of a difficult place for opponents to come. But it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, like you said, anytime soon.
It won't be. But we've got 2 1-0s and a 2-0, people. Let us know your predictions in the comment section below. Lineups, thoughts, all of that stuff. Even what we mentioned on Martinelli, let us know what you think in the comment section below. Love for the love as always, people. Look out for Box to Box out soon too. Love and peace. We're out.